A motion picture franchise. On the surface, a heartwarming tale of a golden retriever with a gift for sport. But beneath the saccharine exterior lies a darker, more troubling reality. This is the world of Cletus and Bill Bob, two men with no filter and no shame, who are here not to talk about what is, but what might be. They are mere conduits presenting a world where a dog is a better baseball player than a human child. A world where a father's hope for his son is eclipsed by the vertical leap of a primate. They are here to guide us through a land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Next stop in the movie theater with Cletus and Bill Bob.
Right, well, this is Cletus and Bill Bob right over here, and we are talking about our favorite, one of my favorite actors. I don't know about you, but his name is Richard Karn. He was Al from Home Improvement. If you don't know Home Improvement, go watch it right now. Turn off the podcast or pause it. Go watch a couple episodes, come back. And you see this guy with the beard. His name is Richard Karn.
He was quite an amazing man. You're definitely more of a Richard Karn fan than me, but I do remember him because he was Dr. Patrick Sullivan in one of my favorite movies from one of my favorite series, which we do have some very exciting news to announce later. But this was Air Bud's 7th inning fetch. Now, I do hope that for your sake they bring Richard Karn back on for the planned Air Bud sequel, which that is the news. When I heard this, I jumped right out of bed, jumped down the stairs, and continually jumped up and down in my seat while driving over to the office because I was just so elated. I loved seeing that dog play sports.
Right.
But going back to Richard Karn.
Right, in 7th inning fetch, you basically have Josh Fram. He's off to his first year of college, and Buddy has stayed behind with Josh's little sister Andrea. And now Jackie and Patrick Sullivan, played by Richard Karn, welcomes a little half-brother called Noah. And Andrea, attempting to fit with her junior high classmates, decide to join the baseball team. And guess who joins?
Yep, our favorite golden retriever. And I thought it was cute because there was a raccoon that was on the pitcher's mound throwing that ball to that dog that held the bat in his mouth and got home runs somehow. I did wonder exactly how can a dog swing a bat in with enough force to get a ball to make a home run with it, because I just can't imagine how the dog would be able to do that. But we suspended disbelief, and I will say that Dr. Patrick Sullivan as Richard Karn was probably one of my favorite characters in any Air Bud series. I can understand why you like him.
Yeah, because remember when Marlon Brando played Don Corleone?
Of course.
Or do you remember when Harrison Ford played Han Solo?
Yeah.
That's kind of like Richard Karn playing Dr. Patrick Sullivan.
In 7th inning fetch.
He had that scene. Remember that scene when he's just sitting on the toilet wondering, how did my life come to this, where I'm looking at this dog play baseball.
I have to teach a raccoon how to throw a goddamn ball at a dog with a bat in its mouth. What the hell am I doing with my life?
And remember that one scene where the guy, like the other opposing coach, was arguing with the umpire about the batter's box being low because it's a dog and not a human batting?
How that wasn't up to code. Dr. Patrick Sullivan gave him a piece of his mind, and that was a great scene. Dumped his the rest of his Pepsi all over that umpire.
Right, and he is just such a complex character because in one scene, he's just calm. He's sitting there at the breakfast table, stepson going to college. He's just sitting there with his wife and their dog. And, you're wondering, wow, this dog has already played basketball and football.
And soccer.
and soccer, and now it's playing baseball. And right, he's just very introspective. But then in the next scene, when he is busy being a doctor, and he's screaming at the new interns or the new people at shift at his hospital, and he's so stressed out, and
what it showed me, because I have seen Home Improvement, is there is such a range for this actor, because from playing mild-mannered Al on Tool Time, maybe getting a little bit annoyed with Tim, but not raising his voice as far as I can recall, to then coming into seventh inning fetch and screaming at patients. Completely different characters, and I think that he should have been up for an Academy Award for this role.
Right, there's just a stigma on Air Bud. It's a Disney movie. It's a Disney movie for kids, and it's a Disney movie of a dog dominating a sport that it's a very difficult sport to play.
That's right, and it would be especially difficult for a dog. The amount of training that they probably had to do to get the dog to even hold that bat in its mouth was probably astounding. And, one of my favorite scenes with Richard Karn, now he has that wonderful black beard that's kind of his, it's kind of a trademark for him. And at the end of the movie, when they win the game and all the kids are happy, they dump the cooler of Gatorade on Dr. Patrick Sullivan, and then the camera zooms up and you see that beard has turned red from that Gatorade. And boy, I laughed when I saw that. That was one of probably the funniest screenshots.
Right, and also when he was carrying a plate of meat, kind of looking off. And I was just like, because, normally when a human carries a plate of meat, they're concerned about the meat. Oh, don't want this to fall. We spend a lot of time in the barbecue pit making this.
Right.
But he was really just focused on what was going on in front of him while just kind of calmly carrying the meat.
I mean, I believe, if I can recall, he looked so, he looked kind of distracted because there's a dog that's probably eating all of the hamburgers and hot dogs that he laid out for the rest of the kids to eat. And that goddamn raccoon, Rocky Raccoon, is probably pissing everywhere and was also tearing a bunch of things up, causing a mess. But he had a very calm reaction to it. That was what was interesting about Dr. Patrick Sullivan. He yelled at his patients. He really probably should not have gone into medicine. And that was a mistake that he made. Sometimes this kind of thing happens. You could tell he ruminated over that, like in the scenes where he was on the toilet or where he was in the dugout with chewing tobacco in his mouth and the spit getting into that wonderful black beard, thinking about his life. But he had a very calm reaction to the animals, especially to Air Bud and that raccoon, despite all the trouble that he caused.
Right, and then we go on to the next movie, Air Buddies.
Oh.
And that's when Air Bud, instead of being the focus of the movie, he has a bunch of puppies.
Right.
And all of them play sports.
That's right. Now, I do want to quickly mention that their father, probably one of the most accomplished dog athletes in the world, has played basketball, football, soccer, baseball, and volleyball. And was there one more? It will be in the next one. I want to talk about what some of my ideas were for Air Bud sequels at some point, but I don't want to get ahead of myself here. All of his litter, the Air Buddies. Now, we didn't really see much of the mom. We definitely did not see Air Bud and the mom copulating. But we do see the buddies, and they are cute.
Well, and then basically we see Richard Karn. Now, his practice is going under right now. You got to know that practices are business, and he's taking it hard on his son. and having him, hey, you did not run that mile fast enough. Run another one. And I was just thinking, wow, he's so intense in that one scene.
Yeah.
And we totally saw these movies, and we're not making this stuff up.
Still, Patrick Sullivan, one of the greatest characters of any children's film, let alone actual film of all time, not able to cope with the stress of losing his practice, must get back in the saddle and teach that dog how to dance.
Well, the other thing, too, is in this movie, you learn that Dr. Patrick Sullivan is
What's so funny, Bill Bob?
he's a vet, not a real doctor.
And this is what I happen to think was. I remember when I first watched this. I was maybe about 15. I've been looking forward to it for practically a whole year. It was all I talked about in class. Are you looking forward to the new Air Buddies, everyone? And then they said, well, no, I'm just looking forward to going to my high school prom. And I said, well, I'm looking forward to Air Buddies.
Right.
And I was not let down. And yes, when it came out that Richard Karn was a veterinarian, I said that's a more suitable role for him because he does not yell at animals.
Well, I was under the impression that he was a doctor in the first movie he showed up in.
Well, and I mean, sometimes you have an interpretation of a film that is a little different. But see, now I'm starting to remember that raccoon came in Air Bud's 7th inning fetch because it fell off a tree or I believe or something, and it came in and he treated it, and he found out while he was treating it, boy, this raccoon has a great pitching arm. Won't you please play for our team?
Right. I mean, he is not opposed to using dogs as animals. Why would you be opposed to using raccoons on your team too?
That's right. And he was also in a movie about a chimp, if I recall.
Oh, yeah, that's a great movie. MVP2, Most Vertical Primate. Now, here's what happens. Jack, the world's most athletic ape, finds himself in the limelight again when the Seattle Simians, an all-chimpanzee hockey team, make him a part of the starting roster. After a referee's bad call gets him kicked off the team, Jack befriends Ben, a troubled young skateboarder. And then you have Richard Karn as Ollie right now. This, because you know how I made that Marlon Brando, Don Corleone,
right.
Jack Sullivan?
Right.
I would say that this is his Colonel Kurtz right here, Ollie Plant, the shop owner that adopts the boy.
Yeah, that was a very tear-jerking first act in that film. And when I saw that, I said, boy, this is a loving father.
Well, what happens is he goes off into madness. Like, kind of, they decide, hey, son, well, now my new adopted son, let's go on a boat and let's skateboard across this river.
That sounds like fun to me. I'd love to be adopted by Richard Karn.
Well, not this version, but, and afterwards, I remember my next favorite Richard Karn movie, Horse Camp, A Love's Tale. So it's a new year at horse riding camp, and everything changes when the ranch hand has a crush on the riding instructor. And,
Richard Karn finding love. This was probably one of the best romance movies since Sleepless in Seattle, since Gone with the Wind. I mean, the romantic display of affection that Richard Karn showed to this other camp instructor, that really taught me a lot about life. And to the point where one of my first lines I said to any woman was, have you ever seen Horse Camp 2? And I'd wait for them to say something. And if they said no, I said, excuse me, I'll be on my way now.
Right. And I remember that one scene where he's smitten, he's riding his horse, and he falls off the horse when he sees the the love interest, and he was great in that.
Absolutely. A lot of light moments that balanced out some of the pathos that Richard Karn was experiencing, falling into the water trough and getting all wet right before dinner. Falling inside of the kitchen because the horse, stuck its head in and drooled on the floor. Stepping in, horse dropping. That's probably one of the funniest moments. And then having to go up to his crush with a bunch of horse droppings on his shoe and pants. Just a lot of funny things. I believe that there were some young kids, and one of them might have brought in a ferret or a weasel or maybe some kind of a rhesus monkey, and they would constantly laugh at Richard Karn's antics, and anything he would do, they'd be kind of in the background going, "You silly dunderhead, just go up to her and tell her that you like her. Stop falling into the water trough."
Right. Well, very delicate movie, right? Some people like The Notebook to put it on, or some people like Gone with the Wind, as you say, or Casablanca.
Right.
But I think Horsetail is a great movie.
Oh, Horsetail. I was saying Horse Camp.
Well, it's like the same thing. I mean, who cares? But but anyways, what do you have for Air Bud?
Well, now see, there were so many ideas that I had at one point because I want to, mention here that this was one of my absolute favorite series besides Free Willy. And I even thought there could be an Air Bud and Free Willy crossover. But first off, we never saw that dog in skates. We never saw him on the ice. And I believe that easily that dog you could have had 4 skates, put him on the ice in the rink, holding that hockey stick in his mouth, and just playing away and beating the entire team. Now, there was a movie where a monkey played hockey. Isn't that right?
Well, that's a sequel, but to be honest, it didn't have Richard Karn, so I kind of
I can understand. That's probably what made that movie falter. I would have loved to see that dog box.
Well, yeah, I would have loved to see Muay Thai with Golden, Muay Thai, the most dangerous, deadly martial arts that's practiced and played on live TV.
Absolutely. And I wonder what kind of critter he would have, because in 7th inning fetch, it was the raccoon. What kind of animal would help him?
Probably kangaroo.
Yeah. Just kind of that one kick move and call him Roo or Ryan Roo or something. He'd have an Australian accent. That'd be endearing.
Well, what about Jai Alai? Because that's the sport where you have the curved
right
little thing and you're hitting it against the wall.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that. That would have been kind of cute to see in that little Jai Alai basket that sometimes Airbud walks around and there's little milk bones inside there that he's saving for later to eat. That would have been funny. Maybe Airbud. Now, what would be a cute title for him if he were to play cricket? Because there's 7th inning fetch.
Right. Well, cricket. Do they have innings too?
I believe that they do.
Right.
There's something called wickets in cricket, and there's a bowler and a fielding team.
Well, the fielding. Right. Well.
We'll have to put that one up on the board for later. But I would have loved to see him play cricket. I would have loved to see him box, and I would have loved to see him dance. and learn how to competitively dance.
Well,
and-
what about he plays the night watchman, apparently a low order batsman who gets sent in to bat late in the day to protect the more accomplished batman from getting out.
Now, this is in cricket.
This is in cricket.
And sometimes those games, from what I understand, go on for 12 hours or more.
Right, that's great.
So Air Bud returns. I'm thinking there could be a number of different sports that he could play here. Bowling, for example. He kind of nudges the ball with his snout and gets it down that lane. And then, of course, you have that obnoxious bowler based on that old athlete that keeps screaming at him and being inappropriate. Richard Karn could maybe play him, I think.
Well, what about Air Bud versus Ratatouille, where you have the little rat pulling the guy's hair to cook? And then you got Air Bud coming in with his best friend, Dr. Sullivan.
Right.
Who I thought was a medical doctor in Air Bud's 7th Inning Stretch, but he was really just a veterinarian the whole time.
That's right. And that's just one of those things. It's all right. I mean, the first time I saw The Godfather, I thought they were all Irish, and this was the Irish mob, to tell you the truth.
I mean, I just thought they were normal businessmen in The Godfather. They were just regular, good old American businessmen.
And that they weren't even doing anything illegal.
Right, and, Marlon Brando, Richard Karn, it's like two great actors right there.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to when Richard Karn hits kind of his old Jack Nicholson phase, where he's kind of playing an aging actor who's still crazy, still got it, in some really weird types of roles like Jack Nicholson did in The Departed.
Right, well.
Now, we would be remiss if we did not talk about the Air Buddies. They were in the snow. They were in space. They were in the North Pole looking for Santa. They were in a haunted house. They were on Treasure Island. And they were superheroes. What I'd like to know is if Air Bud is returning, are the Air Buddies returning?
Right, well, because I got a different idea of a great Air Bud movie. I want you to hear this.
All right.
So remember, Steve Martin had this one movie called Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah.
And then I guess it's just a movie with him with a lot of kids, and it's like based off of this like this old movie that is the same thing but like not funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I was forced to watch it. It was kind of boring.
Right.
But then in the sequel to that, apparently there's another family that has a bunch of kids and they're rivals. And what if you had the Air Buddies, like the Golden Retriever family, and then you got this Husky family that kind of like they're athletic too. The Husky puppies could play football or basketball or baseball too. And they get in these competitions.
They get in some kinds of tournaments and round robins. I believe that could be cool.
And then they got like a team of Cocker Spaniels. It's like a tournament of dogs that play sports. And then you got some Cocker Spaniels, you got some Chihuahuas, and none of those guys are really that good.
Right. They're really there. I mean, I think that the Chihuahuas would be good cheerleaders because they're very loud, and they could also be good at learning synchronized jumping up and down, yapping.
Right.
Cocker Spaniels be good at that too.
Right, and then so you got that idea. I don't know, man. I think the Air Bud series is great, and
absolutely
there's not much you can do to improve on it.
Well, I mean, we'll find out, and I did want to do an Air Bud Free Willy crossover where the dog has to teach the whale how to play some kind of a sport.
Well, for the whale to get its freedom?
For the whale to get its freedom yet again, because he's been trapped once more, and the only way out is to win some kind of a competition, like say a dancing competition. So
Well, because I know Free Willy 2 is your favorite movie of all time.
That's
but
right.
By the time Free Willy 3 came along, weren't you kind of getting sick of the whale getting captured all the time?
I wanted to see the whale capturing somebody else, actually, and the tables turning, and what I wanted to see was, the whale, maybe not Free Willy, but another killer whale related to him, taking things too far, trapping a fisherman, holding him hostage inside of a cove, and then Free Willy comes in to save the man.
Right, like instead of...
And
right.
the man's name is also Willy.
Right, so instead of the boa saving Free Willy, you have Free Willy and a bunch of whales trapping this one fisherman.
Right.
That's like they're watching him for entertainment or whatever they do. That's
right.
Kinda, and then Free Willy says, "This happened to me, and even if this happened to me, I'm not a vengeful whale, and I want to free this guy." And then so they have this whole long journey of getting him from the ocean back to San Diego.
That's right, back to land. Because the boat has been destroyed by all the killer whales. I don't know if you've ever seen footage, but killer whales can do a lot of damage to boats. They can really take it down. And so all the bullies in Free Willy's life do this, and they have trapped Willy the man, and Free Willy and some of his friends, the flounder, and maybe the sea tortoise, and the stingray, maybe Flipper the dolphin comes in, and they all kind of, they take turns where the man rides them on their backs across the ocean back towards San Diego, and there's a storm, and there are pirates, and but modern pirates like Somalis that mess with them, and they have to hide from them, and maybe they steal their boat, and then that takes them back to San Diego towards the end. I think it'd be a wonderful film if that had come out that way, but instead, Free Willy 3, the whale got captured again. I think this time it was by a carnival or something, and they wanted to stick him in a tank that barely fit him, and they thought it was funny.
Sounds like Sounds like an animal rights violation right there.
Once again, that's what it was all about. There were, and then Free Willy 4, whalers involved, of course. They had to foil their plans. And then there was Free Willy Escape from Pirates Cove. Again, he's trapped by, looks like, Australian pirates.
Right. So I think we should do, because you know how they have Marvel versus Capcom, the video game?
Yeah.
Or what if we had Mortal Kombat Annihilation versus animal mascots for movies, the game? And you got Airbud and Free Willy fighting Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
We got Flipper the Dolphin and
Kano from
yeah. We got the turtle in Cannibal Holocaust who was cut open in real life, and the ghost of it coming to seek its revenge.
Maybe it could be the final boss.
Yeah. We got Milo and Otis, the pug and the cat, who were multiple versions of them happened to die on set while they were filming that movie, and the ghosts of them coming back.
Right. I mean, this is just a video game, and we're not using real animals, so I think we'll be fine.
Well, yeah, but in the game, we will have ghosts of animals that have died. Like, for example, Spike, Ace Ventura's monkey. And when they're ghosts, they can be more powerful. They can have ultra moves or what have you.
Right. It could be, it could be a special power up. Well, any other movies, Cletus, that you want to talk about?
Well, let's see. Richard Karn. He was
He was a very prolific guy on TV.
absolutely. Now he also hosted Family Feud.
Right. People loved him on Family Feud.
Now, what is this Assembly Required show? Have you heard? Looks like a reality show, and Tim Allen's in it, and it's a competition series that spotlights the best and brightest builders from across the country. So Tim and Richard Karn are going around the country from house to house and getting filmed in front of actual people working. They're not probably really doing much of anything, but they're getting plenty of camera time.
Right, they're just probably the hosts and
Right, and they're probably fed lines and told what to say and kind of like. So Joe's really got his hands full.
right
This kind of thing.
Right, because they play these people on TV, and maybe they are handy, but you gotta.
Well, now did Richard Karn and Tim Allen come up with the idea of home improvement themselves?
I don't think Richard Karn was actually supposed to be on Home Improvement because
Really?
yeah, there was this other guy, Steven Tobolowsky, who was supposed to play Glenn.
Is that right?
And Richard Karn was just the kind of replacement, like hold his place for the first couple episodes, but Tim decided to keep him.
Now, what about that fabulous neighbor Wilson, where you never saw the lower half of his face? I happen to remember on the final episode of Home Improvement when they were all coming out on stage and that actor came out and was pointing at his lips right up in front of the camera and with a big old smile. And that really, I loved that moment.
Right, I loved it too because he was never allowed to show even the bottom half of his face in real life. And
Yeah.
And like when he was on set and he wasn't hiding behind something, they'd have a little fence that he would just carry around.
Yeah.
Like I'm carrying around a pop filter right now.
I remember when they were at a birthday party and he was hiding behind the big stack of birthday gifts on the table during one episode. Very, very classic, and he was full of wisdom. He always gave Tim pearls that Tim could take with him.
Right. Well, I mean, I always imagined that he didn't really exist, and that Tim was just, solving the problem himself in a very unique way.
That would have been interesting. What if there was nobody that was actually living in that house? And in fact, it was an empty, barren house.
And he was just pretending that he had 3 kids and a wife and a neighbor, and
right.
He was the host of a TV show.
And it was actually like a condemned property, and maybe there was some vagrancy going on at that house, and so the way that Tim could cope with it was instead of actually acknowledging that there were heroin addicts and crackheads and whores going in and out of the house at all hours, that instead there was a kindly old man that looked over the fence and you just couldn't see the bottom half of his face.
Right. Well, if that really happened in the show, then a lot of people would be disappointed.
Well, this is true. It's probably why I don't write for TV. I just write for a movie review show. Now, will you be getting advanced tickets for Airbud Returns? Because I certainly will be.
I feel like I could just wait and just buy them on the day.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I've been talking to a lot of people, and we have many who were who remembered what Airbud was. Not necessarily excited, but they remembered what it was, and that's one step of the way. Once that trailer hits, boy, we are going to have some excited people.
It's going to be like when you're sitting there hasn't been a Star Wars movie since like 2006, and all of a sudden you see the Star Wars Episode 7 trailer.
Right.
Well, that's kind of like what Airbud's going to be.
It'll be bigger than that, I think. I think it'll be more exciting than the fact they made a prequel to Rosemary's Baby over 50 years after the original came out. This will be more important. We haven't had.
Well, how could you make a prequel to Rosemary's Baby? You know, Rosemary's Fetus?
Well, actually, it was the girl who lived with the satanic couple and who died in the beginning of Rosemary's Baby, telling her story.
Right. I remember when Rosemary's Babies died, I was sad.
Well, yeah. I don't believe it died.
That's true. I didn't watch the movie.
The baby's name was Adrian. I'd have loved to see a sequel, maybe called Rosemary's adult son, where now it's the Antichrist and he is wreaking havoc across the world.
Right, that could be cool. Or like maybe Rosemary's Nephew, where you know, the nephew becomes the CEO of a company, but he's really taken over by a shadowy, dark figure that's making him do illicit things.
Right. It was pretty messed up. What Rosemary's husband did in Rosemary's Baby. Essentially, he made a deal with the devil so that he could become a famous Hollywood star, and in so doing, he allowed the devil, Satan himself, to come up and impregnate his wife. And so I'd have liked to see what happened to their relationship after that and see if they wanted to continue it or not. I think that would have been interesting too. You could have had sort of a complicated type of thing like Forrest Gump, because Forrest and Jenny didn't always get along, but sometimes they found themselves back in each other's arms, and then she would run back off in the bus with another, like another drug addict or whatever it is, and yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Like, that's wonderful. Drug.
Yep. Roman Polanski. Now, there's a controversial man.
Slightly controversial, nothing major.
Yep. And you have a lot of actors and actresses in A-list Hollywood who are in support of him, such as Adrian Brody. Now, funnily enough, the baby's name in Rosemary's Baby was Adrian, so maybe that's that connection there.
Right, that's the reason he supports him.
That probably is. And Scarlett Johansson, and there's a bunch of others. And then a lot of these people also support Woody Allen.
Well, both these guys did nothing crazy, especially in the state of Alabama.
Yep, I mean, it's all relative as far as that's concerned. But I mean, Alec Baldwin supports Woody Allen, and he himself got into a little bit of hot water when he shot a man. And anyway, these are
those are that's great. I mean, Alec Baldwin should just do the next Air Bud movie.
I think that'd be great, and I'd love to see a Woody Allen take on Air Bud, where because one of Woody Allen's favorite sports is racquetball. He loves it so much, in fact, that when he directs all his movies to blow off steam, he has a little racquetball court that he plays all the different actors, crew members in. And I'd love to see Air Bud take on racquetball on a rainy New York, Manhattan day.
I'd love to see Air Bud just look in the camera and give a little bit of dialogue while he's waiting in the line in a movie or something.
Right, kind of neurotic.
Right, and someone is causing an issue for him, and he has to say, "Hey, excuse me, I'm talking here, and I'm taking my girl to a date, and
Right.
this girl is Diane Keaton, and or the Diane Keaton of dogs, and you are bothering my date right now, and I do not appreciate it, and it just becomes this whole thing, and yeah,
Right. It's the kind of thing that he talks about in the car the whole time on the rest of the date, bothering the Diane Keaton dog to the point where she leaves. And then he rants some more about that.
well, yeah, because it should be him just doing the voice of the dog, and then
Right.
Diane Keaton doing the voice of the female
Right.
dog, and
I don't really know how to be a dog in the city. It's kind of strange to me.
why are you being so neurotic?
I don't really think I am being neurotic here. I think that I want to go play some racquetball, but I am a dog, so it's a little bit hard for me to play. But I've done it a few times, so I think I can if I just if it, I just wish that you would let me be myself.
I'm getting out of here. Yeah, so basically that's what would happen in the Air Bud.
Air Bud Woody Allen, racquetball. The dog rants back.
Right. Well, and what if in the sequel you have the Woody Allen meeting his uncle from Austria? Hey, Woody dog, how's it going?
It's I'm having a hard time because I'm trying to play one of the most popular sports in the fatherland.
Well, you should have just become like me, hunt alien predators.
Well, I'd like to be a motorsport dog and compete in various racing tournaments. I would like to drive.
I do the. Why you do this? Well, anyway, I'm kind of. But yeah, this is Air Bud, Woody Allen. It's a great film.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good movie.
Well,
You know what I'm finding that there's a lot of similarity in how that Gunter Kleineman talks and how Woody Allen talks. I wonder what that's about.
It's almost like they're voiced by the same guy, just doing two similar voices.
It's just that Woody Allen stutters a little bit more.
Right. Well, the thing I also do like about Air Bud is that you could adapt it for some movies like Sound of Silence, where instead of kids, it's a woman that has to take care of like 8 dogs or whatever, and then get them past the Nazi Germany.
Now that would be really interesting. Now, when I'm thinking of the Simon and Garfunkel song,
Oh, it's not Sound of Silence.
The Sound of Music,
Yeah.
kind of two opposite things. But now, what if Simon and Garfunkel came back together, reunited after all these years? Still crazy after all these years. That Paul Simon song.
Right, that could be great. And then they could sing "Here's to you, basketball playing dog. Please hit the baseball out of the park
With your mouth.
Here's to you, dog that plays sports. Please catch that touchdown, otherwise we're gonna lose. And we're gonna cry.
And here's to you, basketball playing dog. Won't you play some more sports for us to see? We would have some glee. Play hockey.
Yeah, or like, hello, chimpanzee, my friend. Put on those skates and please defend. Score goals against the goalie. If you don't, we will not have chimpanzees play hockey. It's the sound of monkeys. Right. Right. That could be a great song right there, you know?
And then, raccoon, take your stance up on the mound. I know you're gonna strike 'em out. Hey, you're the best raccoon ever to play baseball. And here you are, the only raccoon that ever played baseball.
Right. And then, well, right, that's a great song. And but it doesn't just have to be Simon and Garfunkel, you know?
There could be some Beatles in there. In the town with Little League.
Please play for my sorry team.
We are losing and we need a dog.
Because one of our kids is in a wheelchair. Well, right, I mean, well, it's tough to play baseball on a wheelchair. I'm sorry.
It would be pretty hard. I mean, probably not as hard as it would be for a dog to hold a bat in its mouth and and hit a ball and get a home run. But
right, I mean, let's be honest. You have to be an exceptional dog to just even replace any kid on the, you know, because think about it this way: you're on Airbud's team. You're the parent, and all this, and your kid was the outfielder for left field. And all of a sudden, they replaced your kid with a dog. Your kid was starting, and now it's a dog.
And then that's when you kind of get into some of the more, you know, metal songs, because you have some, you know, anger, like, my kid was replaced by a dog. I don't like this. I don't like it anyway. Kind of like a Metallica, you know.
Right. Doggy. Where did you go? Millions of fly balls caught with your nose. Right. Well,
it's been a hard ball game, and I've been playing with a dog, and he's playing a lot better than me. And my dad is very sad.
right, your dad is so sad.
And he's yelling at me and sends me upstairs without dinner.
Well, right, and what about Oblidi, Oblada, life goes on, yeah. Got replaced by a golden dog.
When my father signed me up for Little League, thought that I would make him very proud. But it turned out that I really sucked, so they replaced me with a golden dog.
Right. And then, I'm not a dog that misses much. Do. I'm the best athlete.
I played a lot of sports and I've replaced a lot of kids too. They get in their cars and their parents are driving and saying boo-hoo.
They paid lots of money for the fees to see their kids play. But their kid got replaced by a athletic dog.
Now I have a litter, and they're all athletes too, and they're coming outside to a school near you. Soon they will replace you at your job too.
Golden Retriever on the varsity team. Golden Retriever on the varsity team. Right. Well,
Yeah.
And those are all great songs about Air Bud. Yeah, that I love. I like to listen to.
I think there should be an album, an Air Bud album. I think that would be great.
Right, and then maybe there could be like a song, like a blues song with one of the kids on the team. I
Yeah.
can't get no playing time.
And now there's a dog in my place. Do-do-do-do.
And the dog came on the reins. I just can't do it. Okay. Oh, man. I'm sorry. I'm just. That was. Well, anyways, this was Cletus and Bill Bob.
Get out of the dugout, go out into left field, catch a ball and when the game ends, we all will cheer. All right.
Right, and and then also maybe there could be some punk songs like
Yeah.
24 hours ago, I was replaced by a doggy. Going to the outfield and then heading in the dugout. I was replaced by a doggy. Wow.
Air Bud just played hockey and he took my place on the team. All right.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing. But anyways, yeah, this was Cletus and Bill Bob signing off.